Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. I have a little bit of a different game for you today. It is a 1 versus 1 in the low end of the average Joe's spectrum. One reason I'm casting this game is because it is on a map that we've not seen before, so I figure we can have a little bit of fun looking at this and seeing how the map is played and how these guys analyze it. Alright, this map is two completely separated land masses with some mass extractors out in the water. There is a fairly deep river running through the center. I imagine that would be a good place to get your ACU out of firing range of pretty much anything, but of course you would have to worry about a torp bomber. Hover is definitely going to have an advantage here because you're basically either going to have to walk your ACU across and hold a position. Oh, that first bomber is having a little bit of trouble there, not really swinging pretty wide to pick up that expansion engineer. You're either going to have to walk your ACU across and build a proxy base or an engineer, as you can see there, or use hover units to get across. So the other thing that I would observe is I think Navy would actually be a really good idea. This is UEF versus UEF, and as most of you know, UEF cruisers are amazing. You can take a cruiser, ram it right up the center here, and I imagine you could do a ton of damage with the TAC missiles. And then because of the cliffs, the torpedo bombers would not be able to hit cruisers very well, so they're going to have a horrible time dealing with them. Seeing a good little bit of early bomber play, not the best target choices ever, but they are getting the job done. That bomber needs to pick up that engineer. One comment I would have on the play here is that factories need to be going down on this side. Sending an engineer across only to build mass extractors is not a good idea. But we are going to see a little bit of a remedy to the situation. The land factory is going down here from a drop. That is going to do a pretty good job of securing a foothold. Again, throwing down a point defense is not exactly the best idea either. An anti-air turret and another point defense. Point defense cannot move and therefore are only useful in the exact spot that you build them. And as you can see here, the very first unit that General Connard is building are Lobos. Those Lobos are going to lay down fire and destroy your first point defense, which you immediately rebuild and retreat behind. This is not a good thing. That is definitely something that you do not want to have happening. As I mentioned with the cruisers, Federfool is immediately throwing down a Tech 2 factory, trying to see what he is going to build out of it. His mass and power situation is actually surprisingly well balanced for someone of his rank. Most people do not get this good a grasp on eco until much, much later. And he is building 2 destroyers. I guess that is not a bad choice considering how narrow the land masses on this map are. But I think I would have gone for the cruisers, especially if I had scouted and seen that the other player had 0 Navy. Alright, we are seeing the failing of these point defense. Connard is actually doing a really good job of playing. He is bringing Tech 1 artillery along with him, killing the point defense one by one. You can see up here he is building... I thought that was a Lobo. Nope, that is Strikers. But judging by past actions, I'm sure that he will build Tech 1 artillery to bring to the front with him. There it is. And this point defense creep again. Very, very bad idea. Point defense cannot do anything but kill tanks that come to it. A Tech 1 point defense creep is about the worst idea that you could possibly come up with. A Tech 2 point defense done correctly is technically feasible, but I would still say a bad idea and easily countered. So take that for what you will. Those 2 destroyers are out now, and a third is being built. Those are actually going to be able to lay down a substantial amount of fire. If he can deny this Navy, that would also be very much to his advantage. UEF destroyers do have insanely high... Why are you running? Don't run. No. He is going to come back and see that factory and immediately start hammering down on it. One thing you definitely don't want to do when you lay down a Tech 1 factory and there is a naval unit there is to immediately start a Tech 2 upgrade, because basically you're guaranteed to lose that factory and it's a waste of mass. So not a good game plan. And this is why you go first cruiser when your opponent does not have air. Then their gunships are useless. Forcing, oh my goodness. Holy cow. 100 health left on that ACU. Why? Oh man, I almost missed that. He is building an anti-air turret right there. Now see, no, don't build torp bombers. Build regular bombers and ground fire them, because that ACU is very, very shallow. It is barely under the water. Torp bombers cannot possibly hit that in such a small space, and still throwing away so much mass on torpedo bombers that cannot possibly hit it. And Tech 2 gunships are going to kill this guy. No, Federfool, run! Don't, no! So much fail. So much fail. Oh my goodness. Federfool and Connard, don't take this personally, but that game was freaking hysterical just for the amount of facepalm. I need my strategic facepalm logo right now because both of you guys deserve it. All right, let's turn this into a learning experience. Federfool, do not Tech 1 point defense creep ever. Write that rule in stone and erase it from your game plans permanently. That is the worst thing that you can possibly do. And second piece of advice, ground fire with regular old bombers has a good area of effect which applies to units even if they're underwater, as long as they're within area of effect reach. You could have easily killed that guy with 2 hits from a Tech 1 bomber, just ground fired over top of him. If you don't know how to do that, double tap the bracket key, or in the bottom left hand side of your screen there is a crosshair emblem. Click it, and ground and the center emblem is ground fire, and then you place an attack move where you want your unit to fire, and it will fire on that spot regardless of whether or not there is a unit there. General Connard, I'm actually impressed with your level of play considering your rank. Good use of Tech 1 artillery, good use of gunships exploiting a situation. However, you need to watch what you're doing, because that Tech 1 to Tech 2 factory upgrade on the Navy up here, it eventually did end up working out, but that was so much mass wasted, having to repair a factory like that in just a potentially bad situation. Alrighty guys, I hope that you at least got a little bit of entertainment out of that. It's always funny to watch epic fails. Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for this cast. I will see you guys later.